I was born a preemie. I weighed 2.5 pounds. I was 26 weeks in. Growing up, I was weaker, not as strong, didn't have the endurance. I struggled. I started realizing that I was getting stronger as a teenager. But really what got me going is when I was around 20, 21, I did a trip in college. We went hiking in the Alps. We walked over 200 kilometers with a full pack on it. This trip wasn't about being strong or whatever. It was basically getting the endurance to finish it off and being determined to do it and succeed. I decided to become a firefighter at 37 years old. It was something that was tough and rough, but never did it cross my mind to say, okay, I'm giving up, I'm not going through this. Life was good, actually. I was working full-time as an investigator, part-time firefighter on call, was raising 2 beautiful kids. Early August, I started not feeling really well. Figured, okay, I need a vacation. So we went out with the family out on vacation. We rented a cottage. And during those 2 weeks, I was going to bed really early, not feeling really good. After we came back from vacation, I had a fire call. I was there for maybe 10 minutes, and I started getting cold sweats. So I asked one of the chiefs to be relieved of my functions, and they brought me over, and I basically fainted on site. When I got to the hospital, they immediately put me under observation, did some blood tests, and about an hour after, this physician comes back and looks at me and says, well, you know what, you're really, really sick. So we're going to keep you in observation for 24 hours. And we'll see what we're going to do with you. When she started explaining to me that my blood was sick, I asked her, do I have leukemia? And she just stared at me. After getting the diagnostic, I was sent over to Charlemont Hospital to the oncology department. When you first get that diagnostic, it kind of hits you like a train. I've never smoked. I don't really drink alcohol. So for me, getting that diagnostic was like, why me? I called home telling, okay, this is what's going on. And afterwards, I contacted my employer. I had a colleague of mine bring over some forms to fill out, which he brought back to HR at the office. 3 months after, I had a phone call from Gaetano for Sun Life for the long-term disability. The day after I got there was kind of in a haze. And around lunchtime, somebody knocked on the door. Opens up the door, and it's a chaplain. He goes, you want to talk? So I said, well, not really. I'm not really in a talkative mood. And then I started having tears on my cheeks. So he got a chair, and we started talking, and I told him the diagnostic I just had. At one point he was there and Mark, oh, you know, you're leukemia, you're leukemia. After 2 or 3 times, I just looked at him and said, what's this, my leukemia? He says, well, it's your illness. I says, no, it's not mine. It doesn't belong to me. That was the fire inside that just ignited and saying, okay, I'm going to beat this thing. It was tough on the body. I had fevers, had a hard time talking, had a hard time eating. Gaetano asked for updates from my doctor. He'd call up and touch base with me, see how I was doing and how did the blood work go. I was about a year into the chemo. I suggested I try yoga, and he said, yeah, sure, why not? Anything to get you moving and get your concentration back. It really helped me to get back into shape and move again. My kids were the reason I was fighting. Because when they were born, I made a promise to them that I'd be there for them. I want to see that promise through. For 2 years, I was taking pills. Hardly had any energy to do anything in the house, around the house. Going to the kids' activities, it was really demanding. Gaetano was checking up on me every 3 months, making sure everything was okay and the treatment plan was good, and every time it was pleasant talking with him over the phone. My doctor told me that I was really lucky having that plan because some people actually have to choose between paying for the medication, their chemo, or paying the rent. Having Gaetano involved really made a difference. I just had to get healthy. It made things much, much, much easier for everybody in my family. Having Melissa also, she helped me out on the path to getting back to work. She calmed a lot of the apprehensions I had, and it's really helped out. My part of getting back into shape also permitted me to do a 5K run for the Charlemagne Hospital Foundation. Gaetano and Melissa came to run with me, which was really moving for me because it was kind of fulfilling the circle. Gaetano started with me, and he ended his involvement with me with that 5K run, so it was really significant for me. You don't realize it when you get up every day, how lucky you are to be healthy and have an active living until that's taken away from you. And once it's back, you cherish it because you know that you could lose it in an eye wink. Having Sun Life there really made a difference in my life. Life is not what you have, it's what you make of it. And that's what I try to teach my children also. It's not having a fancy house, a fancy car. It's basically what you do with it. And the example that you give out to others. Give back to the community, get involved, change things that you can change, and just be a better person.